Whatever the occasion, effortless elegance is right this way. Because Hilton brings you new ways to stay courtesy of the Nomad London. And it doesn't stop at award-winning dining in a space draped in velvet and illuminated by vintage chandeliers. No, this day goes beyond with unparalleled personalized service and attentive hospitality. Oh, and did we mention the Nomad London can be booked using your Hilton Honors points at Hilton.com? Hilton, for the stay.
Llegaron los nuevos McCrispy Strips, listos para aventurarse en la mezcla de mayo ketchup, la barbecue que quedó en el fondo de la cajita, Hot Fudge Sundae y en la nueva Creamy Chili McCrispy Strip Dip. Los nuevos McCrispy Strips, ahora en McDonald's. Ba 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 ba.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's this time of the week that we like to say,
Welcome to Eejits of the World!
With you,
Glenn Wall and you.
Drew Maxwell. And what a cornucopia of clowns we have for you this week. We have the Eejits of
Romantic Novelage.
Oh, yes. We also have the Eejits of Scientifically Happiness. And finally, we have the Eejits of Owls. Are you ready? Mr. Glenn, do you have a story for me?
We're going to New York in a book festival where
What kind of book festival?
ladies fiction, which is the most popular form of fiction.
Do you mean romance?
Romantic. Yes. And
Romantic novels, hello.
yeah, it was a popular one too, and all
That's-
the housewives from all the girls from all the boroughs were there.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Well, there's nothing wrong with it. Marge Simpson found a great deal of happiness in her love of romantic novels.
As they all do.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of ladies like it.
So we've got a romantic book festival.
Yeah, and and not everyone's married. Some of the gals are lonely. Let's be honest.
Or still seeking, still looking.
Yeah. Not every woman who reads romance has got somebody to compare it to.
Yes, and what a comparison real men are compared to the swashbuckling, mighty-chested, mane-haired,
Yeah. I'm
reasonable-sized cocked.
I'm constantly oiling up my abs, waiting for my cat lady to arrive.
For me to whisk her away
Yeah.
to a life of feeding cats. Yeah, so we have a romance book festival in New York City.
There's a problem with the wiring or something happens. Anyway, a fire alarm gets pulled.
Oh,
And,
wow.
New York's finest. Can you call the firemen that? Or is it all just...
Don't you mean New York's sexiest?
Yeah, well, it did. It looked like a strip team had showed up. Like, it looked like one of those, like, where's the fire? But it really was. Like,
It was actual firefighters doing their jobs.
But the squeal of delight.
It's so great. It is so great. There's a good couple of hundred of these ladies who were all aficionados
Yeah.
of romance novels, and they were all very much of they're young, vital women.
Yeah.
And as these three firefighters walk into that room, good God, that's the sound of just eggs being released. It's like the World Cup final. You know, Messi scored the winning goal, but instead of just dudes jumping and throwing beer all over each other, just millions and millions of ovaries kicked in.
Yeah. The aircon went off. There's a sharp change in temperature in here. You better turn it up.
Yeah, it was pretty spectacular.
Just squealed and.
But there was something very sweet and innocent about it, you know? It wasn't. I've shared bills with male strippers in my time, and the noises that women fans of male strippers make is a lot more.
Yeah.
These were more like, ah! Guess what I do for a living, guys? I'm an elementary teacher. We are not surprised.
Yeah. It wasn't. It wasn't as debased as it could have been, or debauched. But there definitely was. There was sex in the air, and I'm not sure how many of the firefighters were straight, because there only seemed to be one who kept he was. So you could see he was just like scanning the room, like, okay, well, nature's telling me to stay here.
Yes, because, ladies, you can call me the thirst responder. I know that when somebody in the crowd shouted out, "Are you single?" and we was like,
yeah. Well, people know when they're on the internet now, because there was a lot of women saw that the moment was ironic to a point.
That was great crackling.
Yeah, there was phones out everywhere. So yeah, this guy was very quickly. No.
But each one of them looked like a Sunday school teacher. It didn't look like they hung around with firefighters from Queens very often.
Sometimes it's always the quiet ones, Andrew.
Or the noisy ones, Glenn.
Yeah. Or just the ones that'll let you. They're the fun ones.
Geez, Glenn, it's like the opening page of a men's romantic novel. Was he a knight in shining up? No, she was there, and she said yes.
Yeah.
Was she a princess? No, there was no costumes or role play. It was just the role she was playing was, yes, you can. Oh, what an elaborate character. What a character arc.
Yeah, that's how men spice up the marriage. They just let their wives let them.
Let their wives let them. And then you walk in and say, okay.
That dirty little lady.
Let me do it.
So I'll be quick.
But honestly, like, the noise was... It wasn't erotic, but it was a joyful noise.
It was a joyful noise, and it certainly suggested that it wouldn't be the last time that alarm was pulled that day.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. When those three burly fire hunks walked in, you could see, shit, that's how you make good girls into arsonists.
I think the first three...
Doreen, what happens if I trip these wires?
Yeah. I think
Doreen.
the first...
I know, Doreen.
The first three pulls would have just been legitimate larking, but after a strong talking to...
Susie really needs this!
Yeah. Okay, girls, we're gonna go. Please stop pulling this. And then, do you have something else we can pull to get your attention?
Yeah, no, it was a great moment. You could see they were genuinely thrilled. If the three firefighters had shown up as bare-chested pirates, that could have probably...
Yeah. Or we've heard there's a chemical fire, so we've brought the white wine that will only put out this fire. We got a whole jug of it.
We've got a truck full of foam party ladies.
We drove here so fast, we were hanging off that goddamn truck and blew our shirts off.
They were just so happy to see these three firefighters, like, properly thrilled.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, but thrilled in the way that, like, really ill children are thrilled to see John Cena.
Yeah,
you know, it had a real. It looked like it was like proper, like one of them had made a wish and it had come true.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they blew out their birthday candles and then the very next moment,
firemen!
But it did.
Fire studs.
Yeah, it had a wholesome appeal to it. Like the war was over and the boys had come back home. And they're all meeting up in Times Square, smooching with each other.
Yeah. Let me tip you over here, lady. I looked into this. Have you ever read a romance novel?
No.
No, neither have I. Although I am a trained gigolo.
Oh, right.
Many years ago, I was trained by the BBC in the art
during the Savile years.
Actually, as it happens, was, but it was nothing. It was not connected to Savile.
Well, it was all connected to Savile. Come on,
Eventually, it was.
I've seen some documentaries.
No. Not in my case. It was a TV show where I was 20 years old, and it was the height of lad culture.
Yeah,
Load of magazine and all the rest of it. And my part of the TV show was every week I was sent around the world to seduce ladies. Wow. It was quite the remit. But one of the episodes, I was trained by a professional, one of London's leading gigolos. I was about to say male gigolo, but I don't think there is lady gigolos.
I don't think so. No.
I think there's lady juggalos.
Oh, you don't want to be trained as that. You're not going to be pulling anything.
Rolling around in the mud in rural Tennessee with you, lady, while wearing Kiss makeup.
Spray painted on. That's how the true juggalos do it.
Yeah.
They use actual graffiti.
Car paint.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah. Jesus. But so I spent a fascinating couple of days in the company of Rio, learning the art of being a gigolo. And his partner, she wrote the sex version of romance novels.
They got to bring somebody in to write the sex?
Well, yeah. I mean, it was all still the same sort of thing of he's, a knight in a castle or whatever. All the scenes. Only in her versions, there was a lot of pumping.
Oh, I see. She wrote really dirty romance novels.
Yeah, essentially they were romance novels with a little bit of spice.
Wow. And did you read them?
Yeah.
How many of these did you read?
Well, I was given one. That's what it was. It was at the end of the couple of days of recording, she went, you can have one, and I actually read them. Yeah. And made absolutely no sense for a man, because you gotta hold the book. There was a lot of setup. That's what I recall. There was lots of schmut in there, and of filthy varieties, I'm sure. But there was an enormous amount of setup.
Was there any dirty pictures in it that you could?
No. This was female erotica. You paint the picture with your mind, Glenn, after reading a book.
I'm not. No. I don't want to paint with my mind.
No, Christ. No. I don't think you'd be really painting either, Glenn. You'd be more scribbling. Daubing.
Well,
graffitiing with your mind.
I'd rather scribble a picture of some boobs and use that.
Really? Wow, Jesus. Where'd you learn? That's how people live in a French dungeon, dude. Surely it can't be that bad. Fuck you, you're the man in the iron mask. What the fuck? Trapped in a castle, scratching out knockers on it.
Looking for a boob-shaped rock to look at.
Yeah, well, all rocks eventually look like boobs.
Yeah. Use that. Don't read a book. I wouldn't. Yeah.
But there's so I looked into it because I don't really know this, that that's probably the closest I've ever been, personally in my life, to the romance novel genre.
Yeah.
Wouldn't really have a lot of crossover there. You know? And I know Marge Simpson really fancied a character called Burley.
I don't think I saw this episode.
I think Burley might have been actually the bald muscle man from Mr. Muscle. Only they had to rebrand him as Burley.
Wow.
Because he was the kitchen roll mascot.
Yeah,
and he was basically a muscly version of Homer.
Oh. There's one episode where Homer loses weight. And it's good. He's a good looking guy when he slims down.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I did not see that coming.
He is. You know, he's just had a little...
Is that the one where he just taped all the fat to his back? With bull clips?
No, it's something that I think it's Ozempic or something.
Right. Well, that's a newer episode. We're all at it.
No, do you know what? I think it predated Ozempic, but it just turned out to be what in that way that The Simpsons often does.
Yeah, it's literally the Oracle.
Yeah,
they've predicted everything.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Now then, would you? So I looked into it. Apparently, this is all part of the fun of the romance genre of novels. Is the tropes?
Oh,
yeah. There's always, certain standard things in all of them.
Okay.
Right? So these are some of the tropes, right? And as the list went on, I was like, okay, I've absolutely no idea what the hell this is. But it starts off with enemies become lovers.
Okay.
Oh, you can see that, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah? Opposites attract.
Almost the same
Almost
as
the
first,
same.
But...
Love triangle.
Oh, I've done that to a triangle once. That's what got me kicked out of the symphony.
Stupid. Second chance.
Yeah, they wouldn't give it to me.
There's no way. No, the Philharmonic are not having you back.
No.
Not after you filled their harmonica. Any sense.
Phil Harmonica, he came in and did the job for me after.
Stupid. Beautiful all along.
Oh,
so that's your ugly duckling story, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I got it. There was loads more of them, but they were just a sample of the ones that even I, as a man, can understand. All right. Oh yeah, I've seen all them.
And exist in other forms of entertainment too.
Yes. Now it gets a little bit odder and odder. There's age gap.
Okay, you may not want to purchase that book with your credit card.
Right,
pay cash for that one. But
age gap, wealth gap.
Oh, that's fine.
Right, status gap.
That's
right.
fine.
So, but there's amnesia.
Wow.
Apparently, really big a big trope in romance novels. They had a car accident. They were going to get divorced, but then somebody cut the brakes. He's got careering off a cliff. He's in intensive care in hospital. She goes in. He's no idea who she is, and then he discovers her all over again, and falls in love with her a second time. Amnesia.
Until she does that thing again.
Oh, I remember you dumb bitch. Now I remember you stupid old moo.
Yeah.
You're no use to me. Get out of here.
First time that snot whistles while she breathes.
Ah, yes. Now I know you fucking Louise. Anyway, it's apparently huge. The next one, this is simply what the tropes are called. There was a list. Okay. The next one just said, the bet.
The bet?
The bet.
That sounds like something from like an 80s guy movie.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I thought. Like, it sounded like Trading Places.
Yeah.
I will trade you $1 that I can make this lady love you. But apparently that's, yeah.
Wow.
Then the next one, it was, and I've sounds shady as all hell to me. The next one was called forced proximity.
Oh, right. So you just annoy them into loving you.
I nagged them happy.
We both got stuck in a disused refrigerator together.
Yeah,
Over the course of 3 days, we fell in love.
When we were in there, slowly dying.
Eating each other's fingernails for sustenance.
I drank his wee, he drank my wee.
It just felt something like It felt like maybe there could be something that your body didn't need, but mine did. So, yeah. Yeah, we talked about it. Should we drink our own piss or drink each other's piss? We drank each other's piss. Piss. And, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's in a romance novel. But
that's what it's called.
Yeah, but that's
Fabio. Just Fabio. looking out of an old fridge. We drank each other's piss.
I tell you, baby. As he flicked his hair. As he flicked my piss out of his hair. Margaret, you have so much piss in my hair. Oh, Fabio, please, I want you to call me Ryan in this one.
I've never felt this way before. You in love? No, just nobody's ever pissed in my hair before.
I thought forced proximity would be like I'm in Milan, you are also in Milan. Not you are squatting over me while I sleep. But I have to say, Susan, my hair is now so luscious.
Can I ask you something, Fabio? Are you thirsty? Because we're still stuck in this fridge.
Well, what they offered up as examples of it, right? There was again loads of, road trip goes wrong, stuck in a lift, like genuinely stuck in a lift, all the rest of it. But in this article it said forced proximity. One of the most popular examples of that is when you're both servants of the same billionaire. What? How is that erotic in any way? I'm having to clean up his fucking weird little toy dog shit, and you get cutlery thrown at your head when he's having a rave, right? As I tended to your wounds after he threw a spoon in your eyeball. I realised we are in forced proximity together,
and that's making the gals tingle downstairs as they read it too.
I don't know.
Well, they must do if it's a trope,
Yeah,
if it's like these works every time. Like, the ladies love this.
You get a couple of love buds, you stick them in a fridge, throw them off a cliff. They're gonna live. Maybe they live. Who knows? The point is, they're in the fridge, and there's no fresh source of water in there. So, Fab, get ready for the yellow gold, my friend. I came to America with only 5 dinari. I forgot what was it.
Where was he from?
He was from Italy, but 2,000 years old. He's looking great.
Yeah, I don't know. I always thought he looked like one of those dogs. An Afghan. I
always thought that he looked like a wrestler who had invented shower gel. You know what I mean? The wrestlers look, and then one day he was in the shower just getting ready for the next big match in Little Rock, Arkansas. Yeah. Big wrestling town, as you know. Yeah. And thought, hey, what if I could have shampoo put all over me and make it minty? You know what I mean? That's what Fabio looks like. He smells powerfully of shower gel.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think he smells bad.
Oh, it's absolutely no way Fabio smells bad.
No, he couldn't get away with it.
That's at all. He smells minty.
Yeah.
Or tea tree oil. That's what he smells of.
Yeah, one of those weird smells. It's not even a perfume, but it's...
yeah.
He does something. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Good for you, Fabio.
His hair smells like piss, though.
And the final one, and no explanation was given on this one, was a romance novel trope that's simply called Grump and Sunshine.
That's just marriage. I don't think you're going to sell many of those.
Grump and sunshine go together like a miserable bastard and a happy bastard. Here she is, she's all happy. I've just tested myself for prostate cancer again.
Haram.
Nothing.
Damn it. Give it a week.
Yeah, Grump and Sunshine.
Grump and Sunshine. Yeah, these people are having problems in their own marriages if that's getting them going.
Well, I mean, there's the, what's male spouse can follow that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Try and be as grumpy as possible, but, not enough. Not with Fabio there, being grumpy. Shut up! I want to eat pasta, but not like your supermarket crap. Oh, you're so grumpy. There you go.
Well,
yeah.
That's what's going on in those books.
Well, yeah. I mean, I thought, they are some of the biggest selling genre books there is.
Yeah. There's no
that vampires, but vampires is just basically, same again, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they're doing the same thing.
So only fruity. It's a little bit freaky, biting each other's necks.
Well, I think sometimes with vampires, it's so that you don't feel like you're intruding on anyone's life. I think it's still a romance novel. I think the women are still getting the same thing out of it, but it's just a way of removing. You're not being as weird because they're creatures. They're not.
Yeah. There were once handsome men in New Orleans, but now they fly through the night and bite virgins, which are fucking hard to find in New Orleans.
I know why they look so drawn.
I've been flying over the city for 5 days. Nothing.
I finally got a bead on one. Screeching out of the sky like a hawk, but somebody got his dick into her while I'm mid grasp. I had to fly into the side of a building just not to grab her.
I've been floating like a kestrel, a horned kestrel, above these two Mormon boys one day. Ding dong, hello. Yes, I'd love to read about your book. Yeah. Well, there you go.
All right.
There you go. Well, there's here's to the firefighters of the world.
Yeah.
And the extraordinary amount of lust you bring out in birds. Fair play to you.
Yeah.
Your brass pole.
And your big hoses that you all carry together.
Yeah.
You all have to hold the one big hose.
And your weird little platform. You stare out at things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your big laddered truck. Surely there's a better way of getting a ladder around town than that thing.
Who knows? They'll have given it a thought. They'll give it some thought. They'll have thought it through. Well, very good.
Switch to Verizon Business and get more from your internet without paying more for your internet. Get LTE Business Internet starting at $39 a month when paired with select business mobile plans. That's unlimited data, and with it, unlimited possibilities. Start saving today with Verizon Business, ranked #1 in small business internet customer satisfaction by J.D. Power. Starting price for 25 megabits per second LTE internet plan with smartphone plan savings, plus taxes, fees, and economic adjustment charge. Terms apply. For J.D. Power 2024 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Well, Mr. Glenn, are you ready for another story?
Yes, I am.
Well, Mr. Glenn, it is the story of monks, science, and happiness.
Wow.
Because, my friend, they've used science to work out who's the happiest man in the world.
Wow.
And he is a Buddhist monk called Matthew Ricard.
Is he going to get in trouble for that? Like, does that make him a bad monk? Like, you're supposed to just be even keel. You're way too happy. You're the worst Buddhist in the world.
Yeah. You don't seem to understand suffering at all.
I want you to go away and think about what has just been said about you.
They've put all the doohickeys all over his noggin.
Oh, yeah, that's science. I've seen that before.
Yeah. So they put all the doohickeys all over his noggin, and they've, while he's meditating, being a Buddhist monk and all, I mean, it's pretty much the only thing you do other than incite civil war in Sri Lanka.
Right.
You know,
We've all done it.
we've all done that. You should see this picture of him, right? So they put all the doohickeys all over his noggin, and he's meditating, and they're scanning his brain waves, and apparently he's produced a type of gamma wave in the brain that science has never seen before.
What was he thinking about?
Presumably some of the cartoon knockers you've drawn for him. You should see the picture, right? It's meant to be like somebody you're meant to look up to. Right, so this guy's attained such peace, literally peace of mind, you know, it's made him extremely happy. But with all the doohickeys on him, fuck, he looks like a smug bastard. I mean, he really, really does. He looks clearly happiness is being really pleased with yourself. But he's officially now the happiest man in the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where do you go from there?
Yeah. Where do you go? There's only one way, down.
Yeah.
But he's also... I don't know. I just, the fact it's like, surely that's... I mean, I can't pretend to know the ins and outs of Buddhism, but surely that's kind of not what you're meant to be. You're not meant to be competing.
No.
Who has risen above the earthly...
It's very American take on Buddhism, where it's like, yeah, I just won the regionals in my Buddhism contest, so I'm off to the state finals. Yeah. I'm probably one of the best Buddhists this country's ever produced.
The actual gamma rays that they scan for, if you put them into a music machine, it goes USA, USA.
Yeah. We're trying to get it in the Olympics. We're getting pretty close. We've got a few people on it. There's a couple of guys down at the hedge fund. They're
just fucking competing.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to do it, you might as well do it right. No, that's kind of what we say down at...
Buddhist tranquility. Then there's the triathlon.
Yeah.
And then there's where you starve yourself but only eat protein shakes.
That's the three prongs of the Buddhist dojo that we all go down to. We like to, we do a little sparring down there. A little Buddhist sparring.
Just Buddhist monks calling each other out. Hey, asshole! If you really want to transcend the suffering of human existence and see yourself as part of the existing creation and everything else, meet me here tonight, dickhead! Just ripping off his saffron robes.
And you might, in your car on the way here, you might want to play some Smells Like Teen Spirit, because that's the closest to Nirvana you're ever going to get. American Buddhism.
You might think you're the real Nirvana, but you're fucking just the Novoselic of Nirvana, man. You like that, yeah? That was the 90s
you are
grunge
the Foo
reference.
Fighters. You're the Foo Fighters, sir. That's who you are.
You're the Foo Fighters of Buddhism, man. Lots of hits. Everybody likes you.
Yeah.
Funny old game, Buddhism. I mean, it is weird. When you think about it, compared to how the West sees Buddhism, compared to how it sees every other religion. Like, say if this might be more a Catholic game than a Protestant game, but say if you did find you were in the game of looking for a statue of Christ.
Okay.
Right? Well, you're going to have to go to a Christian bookshop for that. Right? Yeah. Whereas if you want a statue of the Buddha, you just got to go to a garden centre. Make any sense? It's never made a lick of sense to me. Why do people in the West treat the Buddha like, a multicultural garden gnome?
Well, especially if we die in like a big event, like an event horizon, or something kills us all but keeps everything here. and aliens show up and have to piece together what our culture was. And if they go to a garden center and say they're aware of Buddhism, are they going to think like all the things in the garden center were worshipped as Buddha? Well, some of them were no-mites.
No-mites. Yeah. Yeah, Hornets Away was one of their leading religious icons. Yeah. So I don't really, but I guess I don't really understand. I've never understood why in the fuck there's a fat Chinese guy in a robe in your garden. Like,
yeah.
Glenn, why is there a fat Chinese man in your garden?
It came with the house.
Nice.
I don't speak Chinese. It's tough to.
He's there. I mean, he seems to be doing okay. I mean, he's not getting any thinner.
I don't know what he's eating, but he's finding something. Dandelions are fattening than you think.
Clearly the grubs of the back garden.
Yeah, you could survive in my back garden right now. I've really got it. Spring has sprung, and I have not sprung to action. So
I see.
Yeah, luckily it's so small that it looks like it could be me just being nice to the butterflies. Like, you got to leave all that for the butterflies and the voles. They'll love that. You just don't touch it. You just let it loose.
Just keep your statue of the Buddha. Keep him trimmed.
Yeah, and in the house, this is the dust mite breeding season, so you don't want to clean it at all. That's what they're going to eat. They have to spawn soon. So.
Just let the dust mites have their day. Yeah, it's a funny. I mean, would you want to be the happiest person in the world? I mean, I don't like being unhappy, but surely it's all part of it, isn't it? All the gamut of human emotions.
Yeah.
And if you can only become happy by meditating for 8 fucking hours a day, is that real happiness?
Well,
isn't real happiness your favourite soft rock song coming on the radio?
Yeah.
Carry the reins around the road that I'ma travel.
Sister Christian, now the time has come.
What the hell's that?
You don't know Sister Christian?
No.
Oh, come on. You motor realm. What's your price for flight?
And is this a Canadian band?
Diamond is the night. You know what? No.
I didn't ask you to stop singing.
Keep on flying tonight. It's down. It's Night Ranger. That's who sings Sister Christian.
Wow.
And it's in, I believe it would have been a hit at the same time as Mr. Mister's Carry a... Is that the name they were singing?
I don't know what they were saying. But the point is, you don't need to meditate for 8 hours a day in a saffron robe to get that sweet, sweet hit of soft rock into you.
Yeah, and it also suggests you had 8 hours of that day to meditate, which is like, no, you're not happy because you meditated. You're happy because you don't have anything to do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're not like a Christian monk where it's a little bit of prayer in the morning and then you're just making super strong beer for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let's be honest. If you put your little science hat on, those guys at the right time of the day, I'm sure they'd be setting off little bulbs going to colors that you've never seen them go either. Maybe after a bad batch of brandy, it was just a bit off, but it actually made it a lot stronger.
It's gotta be weird being the actual monks that make Buckfast in Buckfast Abbey. I wonder if they know this, the absolute chaos on the streets of Glasgow. That gets good. Brother Boniface, another lovely batch. We've actually had some feedback. Fucking nation, you fucking asshole. You fucking fucking I think it's more Edinburgh than Glasgow, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. Is it
weird.
still made my bunks? Still, like, or it's not
I mean, it's from a monastery.
sold to Diageo.
That's horrible. It's probably true.
Yeah.
It
But-
probably is just made in a sterile facility
By corporate monks.
by corporate monks. Exactly. Spreadsheet saints.
Like, still that heavy flannel robe material, but they've cut it into suits.
It's still itchy.
They still shave the thing, but they do a comb over too to give it a sort of a corporate, like, you know, you gotta achieve when you're gonna be a corporate monk, and you don't want people staring at your bald spot when you're trying to sing your little song.
Exactly. We're doing our paternosters. Yeah, maybe. I think that's a type of prayer.
Yeah.
Huh?
If you had just said that confidently, I would never have challenged you on that.
Yeah.
You know the
But
pinky muffins that they do? Oh, yes, the pinky muffins, yes.
They sure do. Have you ever had Buckfast?
Yep. But not enough of it to cause a ruckus.
Really?
Yeah, I think I just tried it. I've never, like, gone, oh, I'll find that a refreshing drink of an evening.
No, Christ. It is pretty syrupy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was purchased as a joke, and we all had a sip, and then they were like, yeah, now you can tell people, but I would never seek it out.
You would never choose to drink the produce of a monk.
No way. No. That's my belly.
Was that your gut?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so maybe my mouth says no, but my belly says, come on.
wish to be part of the flock. Let me join your congregation of the gut. Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, there's a lot of pictures of him looking very happy with himself, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. I don't think you're supposed to be smug.
I don't think he intended to be smug, but fuck me, he looks smug.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there is isn't Mount Athos in Greece? It's one of the most holy monasteries in Orthodox Christianity, and it's all the lads. It's all lads only, and they've got an extra notch. All the animals are men only as
They're
well.
going to get cancelled. What?
Yeah.
What happened?
I don't know, but there's no female sheep, goats, dogs,
as
cats.
soon as I asked
birds.
it, I knew what happened.
Greece.
Would that really stop them, though?
I don't know.
I guess it does.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah, we couldn't have a distraction of a bunch of pretty little lambs running around there.
But it would very much distract us from our prayers. And some scientists are coming to put doohickeys on our noggins.
Yes, they can read your thoughts. That's the long and the short of it.
So, it's just boy goats for me from now on.
I was in Wales on the weekend, and I was in the car with the Welsh comedian, and Stefan, who I told you about. He's a listener, but we were making a joke about Dr. Dolittle would never have been allowed into Wales. The sheep lie.
Talk to the animals.
Don't you dare!
Shut your bloody mouth. You talk that bloody Doolittle again. It's between me and you. And you, and you, and you.
That's why we call them Muse.
Well, somehow we turned something that was very pure and spiritual into a sheep shagging gag. We have a talent. We have a talent.
Really do.
We really do. Now, Mr. Glenn, would you like one more story?
We got time.
Well,
Last call.
Well, this is properly tickled me.
Oh, all right.
Well, Mr. Glenn, let me take you to the mid-90s.
Okay.
1996.
That's a good time.
Devon, the West Country of England.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I thought it was a guy named Devin.
There was nobody called Devin in 96.
Yeah, I used to play hockey with a guy named Devin.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez. Different world over there.
Oh, yeah.
Different world. Different world in Canada.
Yeah, you wouldn't call anybody Devin here if you knew about the place Devin.
It's quite nice.
It'd be like calling somebody New Jersey or something.
Exactly. Well, mind you, there is people do call their kid Dakota.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is
that's
odd.
True. Yeah.
Tennessee Williams, not his real name. Washington, a lot of Washingtons.
Yeah.
But that's kind of cheating because it was a state named after a man anyway.
Washington's a last name too. I don't think there's anybody first named Washington.
I bet there's a few first name Washingtons out there.
Maybe like one of those Washington.
Washington P. Washington.
What's the P stand for? Washington.
President. Washington President Washington. I am running for Congress and I need your support.
Washington President Washington the Third.
He'll be out there. There'll be a Washington.
I'd love to meet him. He's a bon vivant. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, for what I don't know about running a city is the reason you should make me the mayor. If I don't know how to do it, I can't be corrupt. Everybody knows that. These hands are clean. Because I don't have the keys.
Bone idle. That's never done anything.
If you
I'm untainted by the swamp. Because
I'm drain the swamp. Funny how they've stopped shouting, drain the swamp.
I think they did, and there wasn't anything there. we gotta fill back the swamp.
We've drained it, and it's just more Republicans. It just turns out under the living ones is the dead ones.
Yeah. Well, they've had to hire back a lot of the people that they fired.
Yeah, probably had a huge inflated rate because they're now...
Or the ones that were great, like already got another job too.
Yeah.
You know, so you've hired back who you could get a hold of.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, that's going to come to an end when Washington P. Washington's in charge. I can tell you that.
Washington P. Washington had 2 chainsaws. That was the mistake Musk had. He was only waving one around. Washington P. Washington can juggle chainsaws. That's one of the things he can't do.
I'll juggle chainsaws as much as the next man.
One hand. He's got a hook. Yeah,
Yes, I juggle chainsaws. No, my nickname Stumpy came from a totally different end. That was because I was so good at stump speeches. Nothing to do with my stumps. Anyway, let me bring you once again to the story. Now, this story really tickled me. This is proper silly. Just wonderful. This is like genuine, like life becoming a sitcom. So, Devon in the West Country of England, a rural bucolic part of England. Yes, it's all very pretty and countryside-y.
I thought it sounded like they had a baby's disease.
Yes, they still have cholera. So charming. We tell them it's from tainted running water. They don't believe us because they have wizards. These people are rocking around with warlocks down there. Anyway,
They really are.
yeah, they are. Yeah. Anyway, sort of. I guess Devon is, from American terms, would be sort of like Vermont, isn't it? You know, it's
a little more rednecky though, or not rednecky, but like
bumpkiny.
Bumpkiny, yeah.
Rather than rednecky. These people aren't politically ignorant. They're just pissed on cider all day long.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Devon, beautiful, beautiful county in the west of England. It's 1996.
Okay.
That's really tickled me. It's 1996. There was a man called Neil Simmons. And he had a next door neighbour called Frank Corns. Right. Okay. And they both lived in the village of Stoke-in-Tinhead. That's how I'm pronouncing it.
Yeah, sounds like they just gave up. They just got a bunch of pieces of other village names and tried to make one of them.
But that's the other thing about the West Country, isn't it? There's loads of little villages that have two names. Boothby Harfington. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why's your village got a surname?
Yeah. Well, it's married now. So.
Well, that's what happens, Village grows up, wants to become a town. Tries to twin itself off with somebody from Germany. Dirty people. But that's how it happens. There's loads of, Shipton, Mallet.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that kind of carry on down the West Country.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Neil Simmons, he is a bird fancier. Are we all?
Yeah.
Arr, are we all? Sorry, dude, it's really late. He was a bird fancier, and it's very specifically, he loved the birds of the night.
Oh, yeah. Wow. After a certain amount of ciders, man, we've all made that call.
Birds of the afternoon. I speak of course in ornithological terms.
Yeah.
The owl.
Ooh.
Yes, he loved owls, right?
Who?
Oh, Jesus. Actually, researching this story, it turns out people are really nutty about owls.
Yeah.
It brings people... owls bring something out in people that...
They're magical.
Pardon, Glenn?
They're magical.
In what way?
Their heads turn all the way around.
Oh, that's pretty magical. I'll give you that. Now then, while I was researching this story, right, the number one Google search, where you Google the word owls,
yeah,
and underneath it was just all these Google questions. The most popular, the top one of all the questions people asked Google about owls were, what owl says hoo 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 hoo? Somebody actually wrote that. People have written that in the full 8 hoots. It's written as what owl says hoo 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 hoo, and not once. Many thousands of people for that to be the top search. Anyway, it's your grey horned owl, of course. But you probably knew that anyway.
No, I didn't. I thought they all said that.
Well, they've got different owly accents. They're not all from the same place,
Yeah, that is true.
They got different shaped beaks. That'll do it.
There's a little owl in New Zealand. They're great. Because owls are kind of scary when they're big.
When have you ever seen a big owl?
I've seen lots of big owls. Just so you know, I'm very. I spend a lot of time on my own at night. Okay, I've seen big owls.
I've seen a couple of big owls in my time. Go on.
But there's a little one in New Zealand, and it's got like a.
And it's flightless, a tiny flightless owl.
Yeah.
It's weird that it's dying off. It doesn't fly, and it only lays one egg every 10 years.
It uses a little boat to get around.
It's also its ass smells like cat food. Weird. Total fluke.
Yeah, it's called a kurukua or something like that. We had my buddy's got like a big mansion. Well, Reese Darby.
Yeah.
And it's out in the middle of nowhere. And if you turn the light on, these moths get attracted to the light.
Right.
And then, like every once in a while, this little owl just comes in and just whacks a moth. Yeah, that's really cool.
Oh,
yeah.
You can
I
actually.
don't know what they say.
You don't know what the owls are saying to each other.
Yeah. Now that I say it, I don't know what to say who.
But I think they're discussing moths.
Yeah. The New Zealand ones just say what a lot.
What? I don't say who because I know everybody in the town. It'd be really strange to say who. We got who? Well, obviously Gordon. It's Gordon. He's still in his postman's uniform. It's good in the postman. That's what I say. What are you doing? What are you doing, Gordon? That's me.
Seen any moths? Kind of looking for moths right now, Gordon.
You know how it is. Just looking for those nighttime butterflies. You know what I'm saying? Moths. Anyway. So to the actual story at hand.
Right.
It's really tickled me. So Neil Simmons and his next door neighbour, Fred Corns, right, they lived happily next door to each other. And every night, around sunset, Neil was a huge owl fan. And he'd go out there and he'd hoot at the owls. And he'd done it for so long, right, that he kind of, I mean, he kind of trained the owls to hoot back at him. So Neil would be out there in the garden and hoot, hoot. Like clockwork, come straight back at him, hoot, hoot. And this went on for like a year. Neil would go out there, hoot, hoot. Bang on time, hoot, hoot.
Wow.
Yeah. And then one day, Neil's Mrs. Kim was talking to Fred's Mrs. Wendy. And Kim was going, how's the old ball and chain? She was like, yeah, he's all right. But he's out in the garden every night at sunset, hooting at these owls. Somehow he's managed to train these owls to hoot at. He hoots at them and they hoot back. And Wendy went, that's weird because that's what Fred's been doing for a year as well. So fucking great. There's just two dudes in their back gardens hooting at each other. And both of them like, I talk to the animals. Oh, I don't know. It just made me so happy.
Yeah.
It was like properly something out of an old-timey sitcom.
I'm just glad that the wives knew, because if they both found that out, that would just be like the first time you made eye contact and realized that it would just never be spoken of again.
Yeah.
How come you're not out doing your hoots? I don't do the hoots anymore. The owls left. They moved.
There's no hooting. Yeah, I started wearing the costume and scenting myself for matings.
Doused an owl urine.
Yeah, Fred just came straight out of the bush, straight at me. He was dressed like a kestrel.
I don't know. Maybe this is good. This speech at the wedding. Back in '96 they couldn't get married, but they stayed together. And
I like it. I like the fact that we only know that story because Neil and Fred told people. Like it got out.
I think the wife let it out. I don't think Neil and Fred would have. I know I wouldn't.
Well, then I take my hat off to Kim and Wendy.
Yeah,
because for releasing that little gem of a tale. That's so great. Just in a back garden hooting away. Absolutely certain if you've mastered the animal kingdom. It's just fucking Fred by his lawnmower. Also thrilled with himself.
It reminded me of a little story. If there's anybody from listen to the podcast that I just did, I'm going to tell the same story again. But you remember when we did the Lumberjack show? Me and Craig Campbell and Stuart Francis?
Yeah, across Canada.
No, at Edinburgh. And every
right.
night we had a guest lumberjack. And Mick Foley, the wrestler, was... He was our guest lumberjack one night.
Okay.
Because he was doing the room after us. So
okay.
He was just hanging out.
So you got to know him in that.
Get to know him and go, Mick, you want to do spot? And he was just like, yeah, of course I do. And but there was this big tree on the stage that was for another production, but it fit in with the lumberjacks.
Yeah, of course.
Motif. And we told him, like, if you
bet it was a kid show and it was a talking tree.
Something like that. Yeah. If we could have got into the controls, we probably could have made the thing talk.
Show me your underwear.
Yeah.
Pardon?
Well, it's 10 o'clock at night. There's no kids here now. Yeah. Can't a tree have needs?
So we told him, because it was called the Lumberjacks. He said, once you've done 10 minutes, what Craig does is he tends to go into the tree and hoot like an owl.
Okay.
And that just lets you know you've done your time. And he's like, oh, excellent. So he does a show. He does the slot and stuff, and it's great.
For those people who don't know, Mick Foley is a legendary American wrestler.
Legendary wrestler. So we asked him if it's okay if we stick around and watch his show afterwards. He's like, oh, yes, of course. He says to Craig, he's like, look, last night I went over my time. Could you please hoot me off? I liked that. It was easy for me to know that it was. And Greg was just like, yeah, sure, Mick. You know,
okay, so, into the tree with you.
Yeah, no, well, he came out in the crowd, and we were watching the show, and the show was great. But Mick's telling this story because you forget how famous he was. Like fucking Obama, when he met Mick, went to Mick. Bang bang! Like did Mick Foley's catchphrase.
That was the way round it happened.
Yeah.
I'd imagine the Secret Service wouldn't have been delighted. Yeah, now the wrestler going bang bang at the president.
I think if they were like wrestling fans, they would take some joy in wrestling him to the ground. So one of them's got him in the camel clutch. So.
Like drowning Ben and Jerry's in one of their tubs.
Yeah.
Go on.
So Mick's telling this story about when he wrestled The Undertaker, and it's one of the most famous wrestling matches ever. And a bunch of stuff happened in it. Like, I didn't even know this, but like the stuff that wasn't supposed to happen, like when he fell through the cage onto the thing, that was just because there was 2 300-pound men on the top.
Yes.
And it wasn't.
Yeah, it's physics.
Yeah, so Mick's really hurt, and The Undertaker's saying to him, in wrestling talk, when you tell the other wrestler to go home, it means like, I'll pin you.
Right.
You know, you're hurt. Just go home. And like, he's such a nice man that you forget, like, he can be really scary. And he get like in the show, he's like, I was telling The Undertaker, I was like, no way. And he's like, go home, Mick, go home. And I just finally snapped and went, no one tells Mick Foley when to go home. And right then Craig went, hoot, hoot, hoot. He's like, thank you, good night.
I only follow orders from nocturnal birds.
There you go.
The owls.
Yeah.
The owls. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for joining us on Eejits of the World.
We'll see you next week.
You shall. Same bat time, same bat cave.
Yeah.
We're on all your social medias. I don't know from whence platform that you came to this episode, but if there's some sort of function you can like and subscribe or interact with it and all the rest of it, all that carry on. And all that, we're on all the social medias. New episodes go out on audio on Wednesdays, and then we got clips on the weekend. So, yeah, if you encounter any of that, if you could interact with it, you know, like, subscribe, all that carry on, do so. Do so, because it means the world to us. It is literally the grease in our elbows.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a Pod People production.